Brakes are the one thing that are going to slow you down on your mountain bike. And if you're like me and you like going fast, I like them to be really powerful and sharp. Now we've got a number of different hacks to get this absolutely dialed in, and I'm going to share them with you, so follow along. So the first one that we're going to do is making sure that the caliper is perfectly centered. Now, if it's not aligned, one piston is going to have to do more work than the other, and the fluid isn't going to actually be pushing them together evenly, which isn't going to give you a solid lever feel. So let's just do that dead easy. All that you've got to do is come to the caliper itself and you loosen off the 2 bolts. That's the first one loosened off, and then you go up to the lever, pull that lever in, you take a look down, and then you re-tighten it. And then once that's hopefully aligned, it doesn't always happen first time, it may take a couple of goes. We can take a look once we've got these bolts back done tight. We just want to check and see that they are pretty even, but could be a little bit better. It is running free though, which is also another one. So I'm just going to do that again. And this time I'm actually just going to wobble the caliper around just to make sure that it is free and loose. So if you just give that a bit of a play, a bit of a shove around. And then we come back up, pull that brake lever in and tighten them back up. And let's see how this one looks. Yeah, that is perfectly centered. Both the brake pads are moving evenly. And let's now check if it's rubbing or not. Boom, we've nailed one. Now, you might have seen this trick already done because I've done it in one video before, but if you haven't, then you're missing out and you need to know about this one because it is so easy to get your brake caliper aligned with the disc. So all I've got here is 2 pieces of paper. What I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to take them over and slide them in to the caliper, the distance between the pads and also the rotor, and you just want to use them to really line up. It can be a bit of a fiddle to get it in, but then once you get it in, just be careful not to touch too much on that disc rotor itself because you can get a bit of oil off your skin. You can always wipe that off later just using some disc brake cleaner. I'm just going to slide the next one in, give the rotor a spin round, and you can actually just make sure that they're aligned, or you can see in my case that it's not quite centered actually, so I'm going to have to undo the caliper and redo this with the paper. And you could even build up different layers, or you could use a business card. It's a great way to get them perfectly spaced, so bear with me whilst I get this done. So now that I've got the paper in there, it is pretty well perfectly aligned. So now all I have to do is, I don't have to worry about pulling that brake in, I just have to tighten it up at the caliper end right here. Do the 2 bolts up tight, and then we're going to take that paper out. And all being well, everything should be aligned and it should be centered, giving us that really powerful brake that we're looking for. Perfect. No rub. And again, it is perfectly aligned. Both the brake pads are doing equal amount of work, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so the first 2 hacks have really been centralized about making sure that you've got that caliper absolutely perfectly aligned with the disc rotor itself. These next ones are going to be sort of a hack, almost as if you've done a bleed already, but you want to get that brake dialed in and feeling really firm. On this one, I'm actually going to push those pistons out just ever so slightly. I'm talking about one single squeeze of the brake lever. And what that's going to do is just going to mean that everything's closer together. There's going to be less sort of contact between the pads. So they're just going to move in a little bit slighter. And all you're going to get is a really firm lever. So to do that, I'm going to have to take that rear wheel out. So let's do that. Okay, so I've got that rear wheel out, just looking down. Make sure at this point that you do check your brake pads that they're not worn. Mine are absolutely perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to that lever and give it a really light pull. Not all the way into the bar, because that's going to really force a lot of fluid. You just want about half a pull in. It's going to make those pistons go out ever so slightly. You can just watch it. So if I just pull that brake lever in, I'm going to watch over, and I'm just going to see that they come out and then release it. And I'm going to see it's moved a tiny bit once more, and then we've got absolutely bang on. So it's just pulled it out like a tiny amount, but that is just going to really allow the sort of reservoir to sort of almost push the brakes in. So it's just going to take less fluid to push them in, and that's what's going to give the brake lever a super rock hard feeling, which if you're like me, then I really like that. If you pull on the brake and you know that it's going to work. So it's going to put that back wheel back in now, and we're going to test it. feeling good. The brake lever is actually really solid. There's no movement at all, no squirm when you pull it in towards the bars. And the good thing is it's already centered, it's good to go, so I can take that out for a ride now if I want to, but we've got some more hacks for you. Okay, this next tip is one of my favorites. It's a great one if you're racing and your brakes aren't feeling quite that great. You can just do it overnight and leave it be. We also do it quite a lot when we're on shoots or just if we're maybe out riding back home. All you need is 2 zip ties, and what you're gonna do is just put them around the grip, onto the lever, pull that lever tight. And the idea behind this is that if there's any air in the system, it's actually gonna come up to the lever. That's one on, then we'll get the next one on. And I've also got a pro tip for this one. So you've got it in that position, but what you actually want to have is you want to have the caliper, both of them right down at the bottom, so the lever is the highest point and there's no points in the hose, for example, where the air could get trapped. So if we just pop this into the stand, like so, there's still a slight kink even though the caliper is below the lever, but what we can do is just twist it round, and you can see that it's pretty much a horizontal line right there. The lever's at the highest point, and any air bubbles that are in there are gonna make their way to the lever. I'm gonna leave this for a couple of hours or even overnight, so we'll see you in a little jiffy. Okay, let's see how this is doing. Just take the stand back down. We'll just cut away these zip ties. One and two. Pull up the brakes. Whoa, they're feeling really solid. This has got to be my favorite brake hack. Okay, so the hacks so far, they haven't really acquired any tools, equipment, etc. But for this one, you're gonna need a little bit of your hydraulic fluid. This is a Shimano brake, so I use mineral oil. All I'm going to do is put the lever flat. Step 1 done. And then we're gonna take this little grub screw, which is where the hydraulic fluid sits out. Step 2. Step 3, you're going to need this little cup. It's sort of the bleed cup that you get with the Shimano bleed brake system. It's got some mineral oil already in there. We're just going to screw that into the top. And what we're going to do now is just a little lever bleed. This works similarly for SRAM or other brakes. Just check out the manufacturer's guidelines for their tips. And all you're going to do is basically just pump in the lever, and already I can actually see that there's some bubbles coming out. Okay, so just looking into it, I can actually see that the bubbles are starting to come to an end, but I'm just going to double check. And the best way to do this is just take the Allen key, use the end of it, and just tap on that cable ever so slightly. Make your way throughout the whole lever. Just make sure that no more bubbles are just coming out. And that is looking pretty good. So I think I'm going to call it a day. And stop right there, and then we're just going to put this plug back in. We're going to unscrew this, get rid of the mineral oil. It's still actually really clean, so the brake's been bled quite recently. Pop that to the side, and then the finishing step is just to put that grub screw back in. Okay, so all that remains is just using my 4mm Allen key, just going to tighten that brake lever back into position, and I'm ready to ride it. If you guys have got any more hacks about brakes, then please do leave them in the comment section down below. Be sure to check them out, and I look forward to seeing what you've got. If you want to watch more videos from JMBN, then make sure you subscribe. You'll never miss one again. And if you want to know how to bleed a system, then click just up there. And if you want to know how to make them really powerful, really strong, then click down there. Don't forget to give this video a thumb up like.